I should have known the moment I saw her, said Ibrahim Traore. Not because she was too beautiful. Beauty doesn't rattle me. It was the timing, the way she appeared just when I needed a distraction, the way her smile lingered, like she already knew how the night would end. Ibrahim Traore's trip to Accra was officially about security cooperation, but the real reason he was there was to speak with a handful of back-channel players. People with power but no titles. The kind who work behind closed doors and leave no fingerprints. The kind who don't take no lightly. The attendees finished a quiet dinner at a private residence near the airport, and Ibrahim was told the hotel was secure. Swept by my men, sealed off. Ibrahim Traore's guards were posted on the floor. His aide was just 2 doors down. Everything looked clean. Everything always looks clean before the blood hits the wall. Then she came in just after 11 p.m., a snake coiling before it strikes. They said she was a friend of a friend, someone with connections to a regional diplomat who'd helped arrange the talks. She wore a red dress that clung to her like it had something to say. Her heels didn't make a sound. Her voice was soft, careful. She called Ibrahim Mr. President with a tone that wasn't respect. It was something else. My name is Amira, she said. She said it slowly, letting it settle in the air like perfume. Amira, she repeated when Ibrahim didn't respond right away. Her eyes locked on his like she was trying to read a language he hadn't spoken in years. Ibrahim nodded but said nothing. He was already watching her hands. Slim fingers, too clean. Not the hands of someone who just came from any diplomatic cocktail event. She didn't sit until Ibrahim did. She placed herself on the edge of the armchair, crossing one leg over the other with choreographed ease. Every movement of hers had purpose, too much purpose. She wasn't nervous, she was rehearsed. Ibrahim and Amira had small talk. At least she tried. Ibrahim let her speak, said only enough to keep her moving. Ibrahim asked about the diplomat who recommended her. She smiled, tilted her head like Ibrahim had told a joke. The more she spoke, the more Ibrahim could feel the room tightening. There's a kind of quiet you only learn to recognize when you've spent enough nights surrounded by men who don't blink before pulling a trigger, Ibrahim thought. He knew the room wasn't empty. Ibrahim knew it deep in his bones. Ibrahim stood and walked to the minibar, his eyes scanning the room's edges in the reflection of the cabinet glass. That's when he saw it, barely a ripple. The curtain near the sliding balcony door shifted, not from wind, from breath. He poured himself a drink Ibrahim had no intention of drinking. He turned back to her. "What do you do, Amira?" Ibrahim asked, voice steady. She smiled like the question amused her. "I make things easier," she said. Ibrahim nodded. "For who?" he asked. She didn't answer right away, just reached into her clutch and pulled out a cigarette case. "Do you mind, Mr. President?" "No," Traore responded. She lit one, but didn't inhale, just held it between her fingers like a prop. Her eyes didn't leave Ibrahim's. That's when he noticed her other hand, resting just behind her thigh, fingers moving lightly, signaling. That was it. Ibrahim immediately stepped sideways, fast, gun in the couch. He lunged. The curtain flew open. A man in black moved like a shadow, the kind trained to kill, not talk. Ibrahim Traore caught the gun just as he raised his. Amira moved at the same time. Too fast for a civilian. The wire was already in her hand. She was behind Ibrahim now, wire looping around his neck. Ibrahim elbowed back, caught her stomach. She grunted, but he didn't let go. His shoulder screamed with pain from the hit earlier, but he twisted hard until he slammed her into the edge of the table. The man fired, he missed. I didn't. 2 shots, one in the chest, one in the leg. He dropped. Amira didn't scream. She just stared at him as he bled, face unreadable, like she was measuring the failure. She turned back to Ibrahim Traore and whispered, "You weren't supposed to see it coming." He pressed the muzzle to her forehead. She didn't flinch, but that was when the hotel room phone rang. Not Ibrahim Traore's mobile, the landline. He picked it up. A voice he hadn't heard in years said just one sentence. "Put her on the line, Captain." Captain, not President, not Sir. Captain. The voice knew Ibrahim from a time before politics, before speeches, before the red beret meant anything to anyone but his own men. Amira didn't look surprised. She just took the phone, placed it to her ear, and listened, then nodded once. When she handed the phone back, her voice was almost calm. "You're not the only one who left the battlefield, Ibrahim," Amira said. And just like that, it all began to make sense. Too much sense. But Ibrahim didn't have time to unpack it because the lights flickered once. Then everything went dark. Total blackout. The kind that doesn't happen by accident in a five-star hotel in Accra's diplomatic quarter. For one long second, there was only the sound of breathing. Hers, Ibrahim's, and something else. Faint, metallic, like a latch being drawn. Ibrahim raised the pistol again, stepping back toward the wall. He didn't trust the shadows, not anymore. Amira didn't move. She just stood there, face half lit by the emergency light from the corridor, the red glow catching her cheekbone like war paint. Her eyes didn't blink. "You should leave now," she said. "Why?" Ibrahim asked. Ibrahim stared at her. "So what's this? A warning?" "No," she said quietly. "This is a test, and you passed." She walked to the chair where her clutch had fallen and picked it up slowly, like she was wrapping up a meeting, not a failed assassination. She looked at the man lying dead near the balcony. Blood was still pooling under him. She didn't look disturbed. She didn't even look interested. Then she turned to Ibrahim again. "There's a list. You're on it. Not because of who you are now, but because of what you did before, what you left behind." "Who's behind it?" Traore asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she reached into the lining of her clutch and pulled out something small, thin, black, and rectangular. A key card. She tossed it onto the coffee table. "Room 1206, across the hall. Inside there's a case with names, places, instructions." She paused. "They won't know it's missing for another 12 hours, maybe less. Depends on how loud this gets," she told Traore. Ibrahim didn't take his eyes off her as she walked out. The moment the door clicked shut behind her, Ibrahim dropped the act. He moved fast. Ibrahim Traore's shoulder was still burning from the graze, blood soaking through the fabric of his jacket. But he'd bled worse before, so he pulled out his secured device from inside the lining of his travel bag. Not the one the handlers knew about, but the one wired directly to his trusted men, the red channel. He tapped 3 times. A silent code. The signal went straight to Musa and Karim. 2 men Ibrahim Traore trust more than he trusts his own lungs. Less than 10 seconds later, Musa responded. "Receiving. You need eyes?" "I need more than eyes," Ibrahim whispered. "What floor?" Musa asked. 12th. Room 1206. I'm moving now," Ibrahim responded. Ibrahim slid the pistol into his waistband, covered the blood with a clean towel, and stepped out. The hallway was dimly lit, emergency power only, but no movement, no screams. Whoever cut the power wanted it quiet. Surgical. Room 1206 was directly across. Same layout, same view, different hell. Ibrahim Traore approached the door, keycard in hand but didn't swipe yet. He pressed his back to the wall and listened. Voices, at least 3. 1 male, calm. European accent, French but not West African. Parisian. 1 woman, not Amira. Sharper, colder. Another voice, older, heavy, wheezing slightly, breathing trouble. Maybe a smoker, maybe something worse. Then Ibrahim knocked softly, twice, then swiped the card. The door clicked. He let it hang open, stepped in slow, weapon drawn low and tight. They were all seated like they expected him. The Frenchman was mid-30s, tailored suit, slicked hair, smirked as if this was a business meeting. The woman, early 40s, angular face, military poise, no expression. And the third man, he was the surprise. Dark skin, thick beard, eyes like scorched earth, and Ibrahim knew him. Colonel Masoud Fofana, former intelligence chief of a now dismantled junta in the Sahel, disappeared 5 years ago after a failed coup attempt in Niger. Rumors said he died in Algeria, but rumor always lies. He looked at Ibrahim like a man examining his own funeral invitation. "Ibrahim," he rasped, "you look different in civilian clothes." Ibrahim didn't respond but took 1 step forward, gun steady. The Frenchman chuckled. "Let's not waste time. You've survived the girl, yes, very good. But this part requires a different kind of strength." Karim's voice came through Ibrahim's earpiece, low and fast. "We're in." Corridor locked down. "Say the word." Ibrahim didn't say it. Not yet. Instead, he looked at the case on the bed. Black. Unmarked. Just as Amira said. The Frenchman noticed his eyes. "Go ahead, open it. Consider it a gift." Ibrahim stepped forward, flipped the latches. Inside, documents, printed dossiers, USB drives, photographs, satellite maps, and on top, a list. Names Ibrahim recognized, names he didn't. Military officials, politicians, bankers, a few in Burkina Faso, most outside, and at the very bottom, Ibrahim Traore was written, underlined, with a date, next month. That's when Ibrahim knew this wasn't just a hit list, it was a schedule. The woman finally spoke. "You can destroy it if you want. Won't matter, it's already begun." Ibrahim stared at them all, then said one word into the mic. "Now!" The room exploded in motion. Door kicked open, Musa sweeping left, Karim right, 3 more men behind them. Precision. The Frenchman didn't flinch. Neither did the woman. Only Fofana looked disappointed, like he knew the game was lost, but still hoped for a draw. "Bag them," Ibrahim ordered. "Everything. And don't touch that case." As they were cuffed and dragged out, the Frenchman looked back at Ibrahim with that same smirk. "You think you're safe because you have a uniform, but we were here before you, and we'll be here after." Ibrahim walked up to him, leaned in, close enough to smell the arrogance on his breath. "You made one mistake," Ibrahim said. "What's that?" the Frenchman asked. "You sent Amira," Ibrahim responded. His smirk twitched. Not much, but just enough to confirm what Ibrahim needed. He didn't pick her. He didn't know who she really was. And that told Ibrahim everything. They thought they controlled her, used her. But she'd played them. She hadn't failed the mission. She'd flipped it. Ibrahim Traore watched him as they dragged him out. No more smug remarks, no more half smiles, just silence. The room went still. Just Ibrahim, the case, and the hum of something bigger than all of us. Ibrahim closed the lid on the files and stepped back into the hallway. Musa fell in beside me. "You think she's still in the building?" "No," Ibrahim said. "She's too smart for that." Back in Ibrahim's suite, he sat down slowly, shoulder aching, blood still wet beneath the bandage Karim had just wrapped. The room smelled like cordite and fear. Ibrahim reached into my inner pocket and pulled out the photo. It had been buried in his wallet since he was 17, a class picture from Lycée Zinda Kabore. He stared at the 3rd row, 2 seats from the end. There she was, Amira Ouedraogo. She used to sit behind Ibrahim in chemistry class, always wore her hair tied up in those tight braids, always writing in the margins of her notebooks. She once punched a boy for mocking Ibrahim's shoes, told him if he ever touched his desk again, she'd break his teeth. Ibrahim and Amira hadn't spoken in over a decade, not since the civil unrest scattered everyone like leaves in a storm. And now she'd reappeared, wrapped in red, with a wire in her hand and a death sentence in her eyes. But she didn't kill Ibrahim. She gave him the key, the case, the warning, and she let him see the face behind the curtain. A soft knock at the door. Musa opened it. One of Ibrahim's informants stepped in, whispered something into Musa's ear, handed over a phone. Musa passed it to Ibrahim. "It's her," Musa said quietly. Ibrahim took it, pressed it to his ear. "I figured you'd remember me," Amira's voice said, calm, smooth. "I didn't, not at first," Ibrahim said, "but I should have. You always had a taste for the dramatic." She chuckled. "You were a hard one to reach. You're always surrounded now. Generals, guns, walls. You could have just sent a message. Wouldn't have made it through. They scrub everything. They own the satellites now, Ibrahim. The networks, the cables, even some of your own men," Amira said. Ibrahim's jaw tightened. He already suspected as much, but hearing it from her mouth made it real. "So this," Ibrahim asked, "all of it? The setup, the wire, the assassin and the curtain? That was them," she said, "but I chose to walk through the door. I wanted you to see their faces before they disappear again." "Why?" Ibrahim asked. "Because no one else would believe me. But you always listened, even back then." She paused. And because I owe you. Ibrahim exhaled slowly. For what? For surviving the life I couldn't, Amira said. There was a silence between Ibrahim and Amira. Loaded, fragile. Then she added, you have the names now, but you don't have the real list yet. That was just a map, a decoy. Then where's the real one? Ibrahim questioned. Another pause, then she said, buried. Where we used to hide our report cards, remember? Behind the football field, under the neem tree. That tree, that goddamn tree, Ibrahim yelled. He hadn't thought about it in years. Go there alone, she said. Don't bring anyone. If they see you, they'll burn the rest of it before the sun rises. The line went dead. Ibrahim stood there for a long time, staring at nothing, trying to remember the exact layout of that old schoolyard. Musa watched him carefully. We move? Musa asked. But Ibrahim shook his head. No, he said. I go alone. He responded to Musa. But no backup, no convoy, just a driver, someone we all trust. Ibrahim added. Musa frowned but nodded. You think she's leading you into another trap? Ibrahim met his eyes. She already did, he said, and I walked out alive. What Ibrahim didn't say, what Ibrahim couldn't say, was that part of him already knew this wasn't just about intel or war. This was personal, for her, for him, and maybe for something far older than both of them. Because sometimes the ghosts of your past don't haunt us. Sometimes they come back with a map and a gun to save us.